Hi friends, today we're going to be looking at some R-controlled syllables. We've got EER that can say ear, ER that can say EAR that can also say ear, and EAR that can say okay? So we've got more of our typical spelling right here. Typically when we see two E's and an R, we're going to pronounce it ear, right? Same thing when we see ER at the end of a word like teacher, we're going to say right? Typically when we see the EAR, right, because these are just two different double vowels right there that we know both can say E, we're going to go ahead and say ear, right, like in the word ear. What's really odd about this sort is this one right here. EAR can also say like in heard. Okay, so we've got EER, ear, dear, EAR, ear, like in here, and then ER, So these ones here are pretty typical. Okay, I know sometimes it's definitely hard to decide whether we're going to use an EA or an EE or an EA. This one right here is a real odd one when EAR can also say like in heard. So this is important as a reader when you say words like heard. That doesn't sound like a word I know, but you can flip that sound to an and see heard. Oh, that sounds familiar, right? And this category here is also one that you're going to want to try and just sort of memorize those words. Okay. Now, full disclosure, I threw away or recycled a bunch of the words. This is my second time on this video through some of the technology glitches, so I might not have all of them, but I think you'll understand this sort just as well anyways. Okay. So from now to the rest of this video, I just want you to watch and think with me. Okay. At the end of this, then you can go ahead and sort all of your words and then go back and check the video to make sure that you've sorted them all in the right category. Okay, so I've got year here. It's got an EA, but it says ear, or typical. Near is the same. Here, we don't have a visual pattern for that one, right? But this isn't too odd. This is just a silent E kind of syllable type, right? And because I don't have a header that matches, I'm going to go ahead and throw it an oddball. Spear follows a typical pattern. EAR says ear. There. This looks like an a silent E syllable type here. This one's a real oddball there. So teach you a couple tricks about how to spell the words there, and there, right? Because we've got the place there like it is over there. And you see the word here inside of it? That's how I remember which there means what. There is a place, just like here is a place, and the word here is inside of there. But we don't have a header that matches that, and this one really is odd. We would think if it was a silent E spelling, it would be fear, right? But it's not that either, so super oddball on that one. Clerk, like a sales clerk, follows a typical ER says Clear, typical EAR says ear. Search, this is one of our odd ones, right? Where EAR said Fern, typical ER says Steer, and this steer here is like an ox. That's a steer. And this follows a typical EER says ear. Peer is another one, and this one is like your classmates or your peers. They people your own age are your peers, and this follows a typical EER says ear. Herd is different than this herd, right? So this one that follows that typical pattern, ER says is like a herd of deer. Learn. This one here, it's got that EAR says So that's one we can try and memorize. Perch. You can think about like a bird that's perching on a limb, or there's a There's a fish that's called a perch, but this one here is going to follow our typical ER, says Cheer, typical EER says ear. Deer, it's different than this deer here. This deer is like, you know, dear so-and-so when you're writing a letter, or, oh dear, thank you for that. And this one is following a pretty typical EAR, can say ear. Earth is our next one. And this one here has got that EAR, says if you want to try and memorize that one. Fear follows a typical pattern of EAR, says ear. And then germ follows a typical pattern of ER, says So again, friends, go ahead and make sure that you sort your words and write it in sort columns. Don't watch the screen while you're sorting your words, so that you can think for yourself and then go back and check. All right, thanks for thinking with me.